Welcome to Stick at Night. I'm your freeholder, Anthony L. Romano, representing the great cities of Hoboken and Jersey City. And in my opinion, what we have here tonight is two people that are bringing so much art and culture to Hudson County. And I think they're vibrant, energetic. We need to support them. And with that being said, let's introduce the two wonderful people we have here. Sarah Weber Gallo, the dance director of Miles Square Theater, and the legendary Chris O'Connor in Hoboken circles, the executive director of the Miles Square Theater. Okay, Chris, a little background on you before we get into everything.
Yeah, well, I've been in Hoboken for 21 years, going on 22 years. And in the late 90s, actually early aughts, I was walking down the beautiful waterfront, and I saw a small band of theater artists that were putting on Shakespeare, and it was a really energetic group, but no one was watching, and I was wondering, why is this? Why is no one participating in the arts in Hoboken? So I was just about to set off for graduate school to get an MFA in directing. I was an actor all my life, and I was inspired to create a theater company. I never raised $1 in my life, hadn't directed before, hadn't done any of that kind of arts leadership, but I was able to get a lot of people interested in the city and now the county, and we started producing plays on the waterfront. We started doing Shakespeare and Moliere on the waterfront, and people, every year, more and more people came. And we built the theater up from that. And here we are 16 years later, and we're the largest nonprofit arts organization in the county.
And for a while, you flew back and forth. You were teaching at the University of Miami?
Yes, I took a
quite
job.
a compliment.
Yeah, I took a job at the University of Miami. I actually thought I was going to step away from MST and just be full-time down in Miami. We kept our apartment here, which was smart, and right about that same time, the board, we were at the Monroe Center, and we knew we were going to have to leave the Monroe Center and find another space, and we found another space on Clinton and 14th and did a capital campaign. And at that point, it became clear to me that I really needed to get back up. So now I'm back up here teaching and running the theater.
And you were sitting next to, I'm excited. I remember as a young boy, my mom and dad always taking me to Radio City Music Hall. Sarah, you were a Rockette?
I was a Rockette for
Wow.
2 years. I did do the Macy's Parade. But I've actually been dancing for the Metropolitan Opera Ballet for 20 seasons. I'm in my 20th season there right now. I studied dance since I was 4 years old. I also have an MFA, drug my family out to Milwaukee for that. And I went thinking that I would want to become a college professor. And then I saw what that really meant, which would be dragging your family all over the country if you wanted to really build it. Yeah, see,
I'm a
if you
college
wanted
professor.
to.
But, and
to
the
really
lucky
build
thing
a
is
resume.
Miami's better. It's a good venue at
Miami was
least.
pretty sweet.
Yeah, that's amazing. And then I returned, and Chris discussed with me the possibility of starting a dance academy as part of the education department for Miles Square
Now,
Theater.
do you live in Hoboken?
I live in Hoboken for
So-
19
wow.
years.
Wow.
And my husband is the playwright in residence at Miles Square Theater.
I'm excited. I'm
Yeah.
going to be interviewed by him, and,
Yes.
and that's really wonderful, the work he's going to do.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's see where we're going here. Chris, tell us where we're at with the
Yeah,
theater.
so we started the theater. We're nonprofit, but we're all professionals. You know, we've all had a lot of professional experiences. As either in Sarah's case as a dancer, I've done regional theater and TV and film, and the people who work for us are all professionals. And it's our mission to advance the arts in Hudson County. We really want Hudson County to be an arts destination, and it makes our community much more vibrant and interesting. It's great for the economy. It's great for our kids. We have a really strong education mission. We go out into the community and we teach. We've taught in the schools and after-school programs. Sarah runs our dance academy, which is really growing, and all taught by working professional
Amazing.
dancers, and we're reaching a lot of kids. And in our theater programs, kids come to the facility, and they learn acting skills. They learn how to be creative people.
How do you survive financially?
In many ways, earned income. So many of our programs are fee-based programs, so people pay to take our classes, although we do raise a lot of money for scholarships, so we try to get rid of all the impediments for access, so we try to get kids who normally wouldn't be able to to take these kind of classes, and we welcome them in. Tickets for our shows, our professional shows, we do 4 main stage shows. And then we do, as a nonprofit, we do a lot of fundraising. And we get a very impressive amount of support from individual donors who really believe in our mission, really love our work, people who come to see our plays over and over and over
Well,
again.
your space was donated, correct?
The space was not donated.
was it?
Actually, the space was zoned in that building to be a space for a nonprofit arts organization. And lucky for them, actually, there was one to reside in it. So, but we do pay for it. It's not free. So we have, and we did a capital campaign, but we also had to take out a $375,000 loan to actually build our theater.
Oh.
So those are our financial challenges, but we're meeting them. We have a really strong board. We have a certain amount of business support and corporate support and foundation support as well.
For the benefit of our audience, could you give the address of the theater as well as your website?
Yeah, we're at 1400 Clinton, which is in the shadow of the viaduct, the 14th Street Viaduct. Beautiful new space. People walk into the space and they think it's fantastic, which it is. We're really proud of it. And you can find information at milesquaretheater.org about our classes, about our shows. We're going to open a show in, three and a half weeks, Benicula, which is a show for families, for children and families. And of
It's going
course
to have
we
amazing dancing in it.
It's going to have amazing dancing.
We're going to
in
get
it.
to that
Choreography.
after the commercial break. We're going to talk about
She's
that.
going to choreograph the dance. It's a lovely show, actually. And we do a lot of performances for school groups. They come to the theater during the day to see the show. So, they after the show, they stick around and we talk about the show with the kids. So they really get some great education about
Well,
theater.
the interesting thing here too is where you're located. As a young police officer, we call that the warehouse district. There was packs of wild dogs running around when we used to have to go down to the field at the sewage treatment facility. Packs of wild dogs would chase us. There was strictly all manufacturing down there, warehouses, coffin factory.
That's the site. We're
Yes.
at the old coffin factory. It's
Well,
now,
no, that's across the street.
it's now a residential building.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
a residential, and also the whole area, now they've even called it NoHo, a lot of young
Yeah.
people that moved there north, because it's vibrant. It's almost as if a new city is being built there with restaurants, and you have Carpe Diem down there. When we come back from commercial break, we'll continue our discussion with 2 of the cultural icons of Hoboken here with Chris and Sarah. I'm your freeholder, Anthony Romano. We'll be right back after break. Thank you.
We have to be able to police ourselves because we don't want anybody to tarnish our badge.
When internal affairs complaints are not handled properly, the public may believe that most officers commit crimes, when in fact that's not true. Most officers are professional.
If complaints aren't taken properly and the community that we serve doesn't have a trust in the police department, I mean, there has to be legitimacy. If the community doesn't trust the police, how could we effectively serve them? And by having a really comprehensive internal affairs unit that handles the complaints properly and people have trust in the system, it enables us to do our entire job as a police department much better.
We need the community as much as they need us. So that citizen that has lost trust in the community could be a very important witness for us tomorrow.
Hudson TMA reminds you that before you ride, you should perform the ABC Quick Check. Here's how to do it.
You don't want your bike to fail you, so get in the habit of doing the ABC Quick Check before you ride. A is for air. Check that your tires are properly inflated. They should be pumped up to the inflation rating printed on the tire. Many bicycle pumps come with a pressure gauge, so you can make sure they're properly inflated. Low pressure tires can easily puncture. B is for brakes. Check that your brakes are working. Your brake lever shouldn't come closer than a thumb's width to the handlebar. Your wheels should spin freely when the brakes are off. C is for the cranks, chain, and cassette. Grab both crank arms like this and wiggle them to make sure they aren't loose. Spin the pedals and make sure the chain runs smoothly through the gears. Quick means making sure your wheels are on tight if you have quick release wheels. The wheels should be snug in the dropouts and the quick release lever fastened tight.
Welcome back to Stick at Night. We're going to continue our wonderful discussion here with Chris and Sarah. Chris, I just wanted to finish that one point. when the county rehabilitated the 14th Street Viaduct, I think that was the beginning of a resurgence of that whole area of town, Trader Joe's. So you're in the heart of a good area.
Yeah, and I think our timing for our arrival was really great because, as you said, Carpe Diem, they were the pioneers. He started that business before any of that development happened, and he stuck it out. And now there's this very dynamic neighborhood surrounding Carpe Diem. The movie theater's there. There's the beer garden. There's Trader Joe's. So it's really becoming a hot spot.
And the other part of it's up for development soon too, correct?
Yeah, there's still a lot to be developed there, and it's very exciting. And we are also we're getting a new studio space where Sarah's program is
Really?
going to be.
Where's that going to be?
It's right across the street from the movie theater. It's a
1408
Bijou
Grand.
building, and they're donating a 1,200 square foot studio for
Dance
us.
studio. Yeah.
So that's where we'll have our professional rehearsals for our classes and for our shows, and Sarah will have her dance academy work out of there. It's going to be beautiful sprung floor, 18-foot ceilings. It's really going to be an impressive space. And we want to find ways to activate the viaduct space across the street from that space between our space and the movie theater. We see a lot of potential for public events to happen there. We're working on different initiatives
It's
to get that going.
amazing what happened under there again too. Growing up in Hoboken, that was a desolate area. Now we have the little soccer area, we have the basketball area, we have a wonderful dog run.
Dog run, yep.
So the county has really worked to make that area active. For a while there, one winter there was that temporary skating rink.
Yeah.
Yep.
But what you're going to do, I'm very excited, Sabrina, and you have told me about the plans, and I obviously will support that.
Yeah, we're working on a bunch of things. That's what we'll be launching. I'm not going to talk too much about it because we're still working on it. But for the theater, we create a lot of foot traffic in that neighborhood. There's places to go. There's places to eat. People go to those restaurants.
The
and then
cobblestone.
They come to the
street
theater.
that's
It's beautiful.
old.
And actually, it's very well planned out. I think what the job the county did with the viaduct was
They
really
did.
great.
They all did.
So our theater, just to plug the theater and what we're doing for the rest of the year. So we're doing Bunnicula. Then we do this event, which you've been to, 7th inning stretch, 7 10-minute plays about baseball. And it's an annual event. I thought we were going to do it for a couple of years. This will be our 16th.
Wow.
Every year we commission 7 playwrights to each write a 10-minute work on the subject of baseball. And it's a fun time, even if you're not into baseball. Or if you're not into theater, it's just so entertaining, and it's a weekend celebration of our theater and baseball, which, as you know, is Hoboken is the birthplace of baseball, so they say. And in the summertime, Sarah will take over the space with her dance programs. We do dance workshops with youth, also theater workshops with Annie McAdams, who's our education director. She will be leading that. And then in the fall, we're doing a very exciting play that was premiered at Lincoln Center 2 seasons ago called Pipeline by a renowned playwright, Dominique Morisseau. And then in December, our final production of the year will be a new adaptation of A Christmas Carol, written by and directed by Mark Shanahan, who directed The 39 Steps for us a couple of years ago, which was a big hit.
No show by the Rockettes?
We haven't booked the Rockettes yet.
Although I have had Rockettes come in and teach workshops to my dance
amazing.
students.
Yeah,
That's amazing.
yeah. My daughter is in the program, and the girl can kick.
Well, that's a give back to the community in itself, just for these young boys and girls to see role models such as Sarah and yourself, because I think it's important to be, so that they see what you can attain in life.
Well, I'm glad you said that. Most of us are educators as well. I'm a college professor as well, and Sarah spends much of her time as the dance director teaching. She's a wonderful teacher. We, as a nonprofit, we raise money to actually bring kids into the program so they can have this experience. And we don't necessarily expect that they're all going to have careers in the arts, but they're going to be very well-adjusted and creative thinking people that can be applied to anything that they do in their life.
It's a shame. The YMCA years ago, before it's been closed for many years, but when my son was there, he would go to photography classes.
Right.
I had karate classes there when I was growing up. There was dance classes.
Right.
Once that closed, that also took that away from the city.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we're providing that, and
Yeah.
Sarah can talk a little bit about her dance program.
I'm excited to hear.
So we offer classes in ballet, tap, contemporary, theater dance, hip hop. We used to have flamenco. I have composition classes, and that's one of the things I'm really excited about. We talk about teaching the habits of creative thinking and problem solving. One of the things I do in my summer program is I have a young choreographers workshop. So they have dance classes in the morning, and they spend the afternoons learning the building blocks of dance making and choreography. They work together. They learn collaboration skills. They all the things that you need for executive functioning, right? They have problem solve, they collaborate, they have to have three-dimensional reasoning, they have to deal with failure and work together to overcome challenges, and it's really exciting, especially, I'm looking at, it's the month of Women's Month, the Women's History
March,
Month.
this is it.
Yeah, so March is Women's History Month, and in the ballet world, there's a huge gender gap between choreographers. Most of them are men, most of the dancers are women. So I'm trying to, at a very early age, because most of my students do happen to be girls, give them the building blocks to become leaders in their field, because whether or not they become dancers, those things can translate to anything in their lives. College applications, job interviews, the poise, the problem-solving skills. So we're trying to really have a holistic curriculum, not just technique.
And I think this is really important in our day and age when people are just, and especially young people, are just stuck in their devices and they're not
Yeah.
relating in a one-to-one in a human way. And I'm around theater kids all the time. I teach college and I teach in our programs. And our dance kids and our theater kids, they look you in the eye and they really know how to relate.
So you have
to
a high
people.
enrollment.
High enrollment,
Yeah,
yep.
the dance program is really taking off,
Yeah.
and the theater program is really starting to blossom as well.
Now, do you own your own business beside this, or this is all you do?
This is it. They when Chris approached me originally, it was amazing because Mile Square Theater already had an infrastructure that I could use to really develop this model. I mean, if I were on my own, I would need the capital that I don't have to start my own dance academy. So this sort of umbrella has been a really great place for which to blossom the program. I mean, we have work study students that have to assist the teachers. They have to invoice us every month for their tuition, so they're learning all sorts of business skills that.
And also, I want to make available to you in the summer, we could probably work some out with Columbus Park, where you could use Columbus Park as an open classroom. We have movies in the park on
that'd be
July
amazing.
and August,
Yeah.
so I'm sure, make arrangements. Some of the wonderful plots at Columbus Park is the crown jewel of the Hoboken Park system. The city
Absolutely,
parks are not
yeah.
as even as that is. But when we come back from break, we'll continue this discussion and learn about what's going on here at the Mile Square Theater. And remember, it's a county-wide endeavor, not just Hoboken. I'm Anthony Romano. We'll be right back.
Hudson TMA reminds you that if you are going to ride your bike after dark, you must wear the proper attire.
Can you see me? How about me? It's more difficult to ride at night, but if you have to, make sure you can be seen.
Check this out. I'm wearing white, but it's not enough because I'm still difficult to see.
No matter what time of day you ride, always wear bright clothing. But at night, you really need to wear reflective or retroreflective gear. If you don't have any, buy some retroreflective tape and put it on your shoes, your jacket, and your helmet. It helps reflect light back to the driver of a car.
Make sure your bike has reflectors.
And you need a headlight and a tail light. That's the best way to get noticed in the dark. And it's the law.
Remember, the sooner a driver can see you and recognize you, the sooner they can react.
Hudson TMA reminds you that a bicycle is considered a vehicle. When you ride a bike, you must obey the rules of the road.
Ride single file in the same direction as traffic. Obey traffic signs and signals. Signal your turns and look behind you before you turn. And always stay alert.
Voting by mail has never been easier. Just follow these steps to ensure your vote will be counted. Open your envelope. You will find your certificate, return envelope, and official ballot. When casting your ballot, use only a pencil, black, or blue ink, not red. Completely fill in the oval to the right of each selection. When writing in, do not repeat a name printed on the ballot. If torn or damaged, your vote will not be counted. Fold your ballot and place it in the pocket of the certificate before sealing it with the adhesive strip. Do not detach the strip and paper from the certificate. Fill out the required information on the certificate and don't forget to sign. If you are not mailing or delivering your ballot in person, make sure both you and the bearer of the ballot sign your name and address on the certificate and return envelope. After that, just place it in the mailbox and your vote will be counted. For more information, you can visit our website at www.hudsoncountyclerk.org or www.hudsoncountyNJ.org.
Welcome back to Stick at Night. Let's continue our very interesting discussion here with Sarah, who's doing so many good things here with regard to dance, which is important in the county. And then we're going to get back to Chris, and I want to talk about it, how maybe you can interact and get some help with the other entities like the Riverview Jazz Festival. And hopefully that'll help get you more support and make people more aware of the theater. Go ahead, Sarah.
One of the things that we have been working on building for our program is more opportunities for the students to perform because it is a performing art after all. Our enrollment is exceeding 120 dance students right now, so that's a lot of children to put on stage at Miles Square Theater.
We're going to have to get a bigger theater.
Exactly, we've already
Chris.
outgrown our space.
Yes, honestly, yeah, it is small.
Yeah,
you had to start
it's
somewhere.
Intimate.
Right. Yes,
But so I'm working on developing a mid-year performance opportunity for students. So we're going to do hoping to do a full-length Snow White that's going to be not just ballet, all the different disciplines. And so we're going to be needing a larger space for that. But I'm working on getting some donated costumes from a friend of mine. I'm really excited about having the opportunity to do a full production for the students so they have more than one opportunity to perform every year.
Well, also I know Chris making the different relationships, for example, Michelle Servino from the Golden Door Film Festival, one of the top-rated film festivals. This, I hope, will get you some exposure. I told Michelle maybe, you know, at the next festival
Michelle and I talked and
get you some exposure.
We can screen movies in our space.
Right,
Yeah.
Let's get that going. Again, it drags in from Jersey City people, then they're going to, you know, word of mouth, and it becomes a domino effect. Hey, I was down at Hoboken, Miles Square Theater. We got a bite across the street, or this and that. And I think that's important. I hope I can help you in that regard.
Yeah.
I know I was talking to your director of development there, Sabrina Stoffel, and she also agrees. I think that the more people know in this county, Jersey City is so electrifying right now that to get people involved, and Michelle will be a big boost for you, and hopefully that'll help too.
Yeah.
So go ahead, Chris.
Yeah. So I think we're in a great moment in Hudson County where the arts are rising. You know, when I first came to Hudson County and I looked around and there was nothing here, and not that there weren't people who were interested in art, but there just weren't a lot of there were a lot of visual artists, but there weren't very many performance art groups because people were going across the river to arguably the greatest city for performing arts, New York. And that's where they consume their performing arts. So there's been a number of organizations that have come up since then, mostly in Jersey City. Jersey City's, you know, really there's a renaissance in Jersey City. There's Nimbus, there's Art House, there's Jersey City Theater Company, there's a new company called Speranza, and they're all really making some great work, and they're getting corporate support to do this. Well, which we're not getting quite that in.
Well, that's what we have to work. I mean, you have so many. You have Matt Cali, you have CarePoint, you have JCMC,
and they're supporting so many great things.
And you have a trioca of leaders, I think, in Gina Ewlings, Christine Goodman, and Meredith Burns, which are really
and Sam Potts,
right.
Yeah, so they're doing great work, and people are recognizing it, and they're filling the seats, which is great. And I think we're starting to create Hudson County as an arts destination. And of course, you know, our company's in Hoboken, and we really want to be a part of that. We're getting people coming from New York City to see our shows, from Central Jersey to see our shows. But there's a lot of work to be done, and we do have a small, intimate space, and it's a very welcoming space. Like, people come into our theater and they just feel great about it, and we're really good at creating work that fits that space. But as Sarah just said, you know, we're going to need a bigger venue at some point. She needs a bigger venue for this event. And at some point, I think in the future, you know, when I look at the growth at our organization, it would be wonderful if it's somewhere up the road we could get a larger venue, a venue of 250 or 300 seats, which is a typical size for a regional theater. And Hudson County is also, it's a hub for transportation. It is accessible from all of Jersey and from New York City.
The tunnel, you're right outside the Lincoln Tunnel.
So there's, it's really easy to get
And we're
to.
going to be installing signs soon.
Yes,
correct?
we're going to get signs in our neighborhood that point to the theater, which will be very helpful.
And if I would suggest to you, there's 3 groups right on top of you in the heights there that are cultural in so many different ways. The Riverview Jazz Festival, the Riverview Neighborhood Association, and the Washington Park Association. Their leadership would be so open, and I don't think they really know too much about you. So hopefully, until we go offline.
There's also the Hudson River Performing Arts Center
Yes.
in Weehawken that they do a lot of music series and summer series. So there's a lot going on, and I think the word is getting out. So we welcome people to come and see our work. Our work is of very high quality. Our reviews are always stellar. In 2017, we were in the top 10 of several what's the Newark paper? The Star Ledger. We were one of the top 10 productions of the year. Our production of Betrayal.
Do you work with the Hoboken School System Drama Club on their plays?
We work with Danielle Miller. We haven't done a lot of direct teaching there, but she brings her students to our theater. We support what they do. Any way we can support Danielle.
She's donated costumes to us
yeah.
for the Dance Academy.
Well, again, the leadership there, the superintendent, Christine Johnson, Dr. Johnson, has turned the whole district around. You could feel the positive energy in the Hoboken school system, and that's a tribute to.
As a public school parent, I agree.
And we've been providers for the Passport to Learning in the schools for after school programs in acting and in dance. So we're out in the community.
And you're working with the mayor's office too, right?
Yep. And I was a co-chair of Ravi's Arts and Culture Transition Committee, and we created a white paper, and we're really trying to push the municipality into doing the best practices for arts policy. So we're trying to influence that as well. And at the same time, we have a heavy lift. We got to keep the doors open, and this is my money pitch. We raise money to support the theater. We do an annual campaign at the end of the year.
I know Pat's going to help you this year.
Pat is? Yeah, right. Yeah, he's going to do some arts programming right here. We are in the Hudson County Chamber of Commerce is going to launch something called Hudson Gives. I don't know if you've heard about this.
I'm a member.
Have you heard about Hudson Gives? So Hudson Gives is going to be launched. It's I believe May 17th, and it's a day of online giving, and every nonprofit in Hudson County can be involved, and we're involved as well. So we're going to do a spring fundraising campaign through Hudson Gives, and I hope that all of your viewers give to their favorite nonprofits in Hudson County through this program. We are going to be one of them. So. I think watch out for Hudson Gives.
Sarah, anything you'd like to say before we wrap it up?
Check out our summer programming. We have really exciting summer camps on dance theater and even half-day camps for pre-K students.
Good.
Works great.
I'm your freeholder, Anthony L. Romano. It's been a pleasure with our 2 very interesting guests tonight, and good luck, and you have my support and everything. Stay tuned. We'll see you again soon. Thank you.